Hello there! Welcome to Wisdom Academy PH. It's Wenjay here, and today we're going to discuss real number system. So this is the first of a series of many videos on elementary algebra. And today, ang didiscuss nga natin again, real number system. It's about numbers, about specifically real numbers, and how they fit in together sa world of algebra. So, yun, no? So, let's proceed. First, ang gusto ko munang i-discuss sa inyo, no? Magkaroon tayo ng konting introduction kung ano nga ba ang algebra. So, let's define algebra. Algebra is simply the study of mathematical symbols and the rules for manipulating these symbols. We have numbers, we have variables, we have operations, etc. No? So, sa algebra, nagdi-deal lang tayo dun sa mga symbols na yun, kung paano ba sila i-manipulate, kung paano ba sila nagta-translate into graphs, kung paano ba sila ma-apply sa mga word problems, kung paano ba mag-solve ng equations. So, ganun lang, no? Basically, it's about symbols and how to manipulate those symbols. So, yun ang algebra. Now, ito yung mga mathematical symbols, common mathematical symbols na ma-encounter natin sa algebra. First, we have numbers, variables, and operations. So, numbers. Ano ba yung numbers, no? Yung numbers, alam naman natin lahat na yan ang ginagamit natin sa pagbibilang, sa pagsusukat, sa paglilabel. So, it's basically anything that can be used to count, measure, and label. No? So, yung numbers, magbibilang ka ng tigyawat, number yung ginagamit mo doon, nagbibilang ka ng pera, number yung gamit doon, nagbibilang ka ng tupa, o kaya nagsusukat ka ng height mo, nagsusukat ka ng length, or nagsusukat ka ng temperatura. Numbers are all around us. Math is all around us. Now, yung variables naman, they are symbols that are used to denote an unspecified value. Isang value na hindi natin alam pa. Unspecified. Hindi pa natin alam. Either tago siya, hindi pa siya alam, or basta hindi siya specified straight to the point na yun yung value niya. For example, yan, mga variables na alam natin, mga letters, sa algebra nga, doon nag-uumpisa na magkaroon na ng letters yung math. Kasi nga, nagkakaroon na ng mga symbols kung saan nagde-denote pa yan ng value na hindi natin alam, at yun yung mga variables natin. Yung operations naman, yan yung addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, and etc. No? So, yun yung mga operations natin. Yun yung mga mathematical symbols na commonly ma-encounter natin sa algebra. Now, ngayon nga, dahil ang title ng topic natin ay real number system, we'll stick to discussing yung numbers. No? Talagang doon tayo mag-uumpisa kasi doon naman talaga yung parang foundation natin sa math. Nag-umpisa tayo anong bata tayo, nag-umpisa tayo sa mga discussion ng numbers. So, lalo pa natin i-recap yon, ipapatibayan natin yung pundasyon natin sa mga bagay na alam natin tungkol sa numbers. So, ngayon, di-discuss ko yung types of real numbers, no? So, we're starting to dive into real number system natin and yung concepts behind them. Now, excuse me. Now, ito yung types of real numbers natin. Take note, they are real numbers. So, bakit yung sinasabing real? Meron bang fake numbers? Meron bang numbers na kathang isip lang? Yes po, meron po tayong tinatawag na imaginary numbers. At yun yung nasasabi kong numbers na kathang isip lang talaga kasi hindi talaga sila nag-exist. Pero in one way, magagamit sila sa future applications natin, sa ibang series natin sa algebra. But specifically in this course, in this algebra series, we'll be discussing real numbers. So, yung mga numbers na hindi imaginary. So, basically yung definition nun, numbers na totoo, hindi imaginary, yun yung real numbers. And we'll be dwelling with this. And yung imaginary numbers, soon enough, you will also learn about them. But the thing is, we'll stick with real numbers. And we have the following types of real numbers. First, we have natural numbers. These numbers, yung natural numbers, kaya natural yung tawag sa kanila, these are the numbers that we use to count. So, we can call them as counting numbers. So, counting numbers. So, yan yung set na pinambibilang natin. Sa halimbawa, nasa farm tayo, nagbibilang tayo ng 2 pa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Pataas ng pataas ng pataas. Yung pagbibilang natin na yun, counting numbers yun, or you can also call that as natural numbers. So, yan nga, yung nakasulat sa slide natin. Counting numbers, so that's the set of 1, 2, 3, 4, onwards, pataas. Yan yung natural numbers natin. Yung whole numbers naman, yan ay yung counting numbers din. Tapos isama lang natin si 0. So, yung set na to, itong set na tong 1, 2, 3, 4 pataas, dagdagan mo lang yan ng 0. Counting number na yan. Whole number na yan. So, dinagdagan ko lang ng 0 yung set na yon, whole number na yung tawag din. So, pag dinagdagan siya ng 0, again, whole number siya. Now, yung integers naman, basically, etong set na tong whole numbers na to, dagdagan mo lang yung negative versions ng mga numbers na to. Yung tong negative versions ng mga counting numbers natin, lagay mo lang yan sa set na yan. Ang mayari, makukuha mo yung set of integers natin, which is yan, mga negative counting number, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative hanggat sa pababa ng pababa. Kasama yan sa integers, and then we have 0, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, onwards. So, yun yung integers natin. And yung rational numbers naman, basically, ayan, yung rational numbers naman natin ay yung mga numbers na pwede nating express as a quotient of two integers. Quotient of two integers. So, it's an integer over an integer. Kapag ang number, kahit anong number pa yan, kahit decimal pa yan or fraction, kapag kaya mo siya i-interpret or i-translate or i-convert sa isang form na integer over integer or quotient of two integers, in any way that you can, in everything in your power, na-convert mo sila sa quotient of two integers, rational number ang tawag doon. Kasi nga, from the root word ratio, parang nagawa mo silang ratio, nagawa mo sila sa quotient of two numbers, no? So, rational number. So, let's dive deeper sa ating rational numbers. So, again, as I said kanina, rational numbers are numbers that can be expressed as a quotient of two integers. So, it's an integer over an integer. So, ano bang mga example ng rational numbers natin? Let me think of something. Ano ba? 5 over 4. So, that's an integer. This is an integer. 5 is an integer. 4 is an integer. Naka-quotient sila, naka-divide sila sa isa't isa. That's a rational number. Halimbawa naman, 2 over 3. 2 is an integer. 3 is an integer. Therefore, that's a rational number. Ngayon, paano pag decimals? Paano pag 0.6? Paano yan? Rational number ba yan? Mukhang hindi, no? Kasi 0.6 eh. Hindi siya integer eh. Pero sa totoo lang, that's a rational number. Why? Dahil mako-convert natin siya, pwede natin siyang gagawa ng manipulation para ma-convert siya into a fraction form, which is simply rational number ang mga fractions. So, paano yan mako-convert into fraction? Alam natin before kung paano mag-convert ng fractions nung elementary. This 0.6, pag kinonvert natin yan sa fractions, you would get 6 over 10. Or if we simplify that further with 3 over 5. So, yan. So, in that case, what's 3? That's an integer. 5 is also an integer. Any decimal na mako-convert mo into a fraction or into a integer over an integer, that is a rational number. So, yung mga decimals natin, remember na kapag terminating decimal sila and repeating decimals, so terminating and repeating decimals, take note of that. Terminating and repeating decimals, those are rational numbers. Paano kapag 5 over 1? So, as you can see, this is an integer, therefore, this is a rational number. So, ano yung 5 over 1? Kung mapapansin mo, yung 5 over 1, pag sinimplify mo yan, 5, any number divided by 1 is the same number. So, 5 divided by 1 is also 5. So, therefore, 5 itself is a rational number kasi pwede mo siya i-express as a quotient of two integers, which is 5 divided by 1. So, anong takeaway? Anong gusto kong iparating sa inyo dito? Na lahat ng number, lahat ng integers, lahat ng whole numbers, lahat ng integers, lahat ng whole numbers, lahat ng natural numbers, lahat yan ay rational numbers. Bakit? Dahil lahat sila, pwede mo silang imagine na naka-divide sila by 1, no? So, lahat yan. So, my point there is, etong natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers, they are all rational numbers. Kasi diba ito, iset yan ng mga numbers na ginagamit natin pambilang. Ito, set to ng mga numbers na ginagamit natin pambilang plus kasama naman si 0. And itong integer set yan ng mga negative numbers, negative versions ng mga counting numbers natin. 0, tsaka ng mga positive counting numbers natin. So, yan, no? As you can see, lahat ng mga to, pwede mo imagine na may over 1 sila. So, pwede mo sila express as a quotient of two integers. So, anytime, mako-consider mo sila as rational numbers. So, lahat yan ay rational numbers. So, yun ang takeaway natin. Lahat ng natural numbers, whole numbers, and integers, they are all rational numbers. Now, let's take a look at the bigger picture, no? Tingnan natin, saan ba nagfo-fall into place ang mga bagay-bagay? Ano ba talaga ang sistema ng real numbers? Paano ba sila nag-fit in together? So, let's take a look at this one, no? This illustration. Ito yung real number system natin. So, nahati ang real numbers sa dalawang groups. Yung una, we have rational numbers. Yung diniscuss natin kanina, rational numbers. And kung mapapansin nyo, meron tayong isa pang group dito. We can see irrational numbers. So, kung yung rational numbers ay yung numbers na may express natin as an integer, as a quotient of two integers. Yung irrational numbers are those numbers na hindi natin ma-express as a quotient of two integers. So, irrational, ma-express mo sila as an integer over an integer. Yung irrational, hindi mo sila ma-express as an integer over an integer. So, ano ang mga examples ng mga irrational numbers natin? So, here we have pi. Itong pi is itong famous number na nagagamit madalas sa mga pagkuha ng area, pagkuha ng circumference. Useful value ang pi pagdating sa geometry dahil madalas siyang gamitin sa pagkuha ng iba't ibang values. Now, yung pi, that is an irrational number. Why? Because that can be expressed as a quotient of two integers. Ano bang value ng 5? That's 3.14159, etc., etc. Mahabang number yan, mahabang chain of numbers yan, na hindi natin ma-express as an integer over an integer. Ngayon, ano naman yung square root of 2? That's also an irrational number. Square root of a prime number, that's an irrational number. Why? Because if you put square root of 2 sa calculator mo, try nyo tingnan sa calculator yung square root of 2. Hindi rin siya, yung number na makuha mo is 1.414213562, which cannot be expressed as an integer over an integer. Hindi mo sila ma-express as an integer over an integer, therefore, they are irrational. So, parang, sipin nyo, parang feelings lang ng tao, no? Parang feelings ng pusong lito. Hindi siya ma-express, hindi siya ma-articulate, hindi siya ma-express into simpler terms. So, that's what it is. That is irrational. Hindi mo siya ma-express into an integer over an integer. Therefore, that's irrational. So, kasama nila yung square root of 72, pati itong square root of 8 over 23. Sa rational numbers naman, as you can see, all integers, whole numbers, and natural numbers, they are all rational numbers. And, as you can see, ito nga kasama sa rational numbers, yung fractions natin, yung decimals natin, which are terminating, and we also have yung repeating decimals natin. For integers, we have our negative integers, 0, and yung whole numbers. So, as you can see, lahat ng whole and natural numbers, they're all integers. So, kung sino yung nasa loob ng bawat isa, napapabilang sila dun sa kung saan sila na-enclose. So as you can see, yung whole numbers natin lahat yan integers. Yung natural numbers natin lahat yan whole numbers. So yan, you can see the scheme of things. You can see kung saan nag-fall into place yung mga types ng numbers na diniscuss ko kanina. So yan yung mga yon. Okay, so let's move on to our next one. So what's the real number line? So ano naman tong real number line na to? So yung real number line, basically, dyan sa number line na yan, pwede natin i-graph, pwede natin i-locate ang lahat ng real numbers natin. Mapa-irrational, mapa-rational, o mapa-counting numbers or natural numbers pa yan, or kahit integers pa yan, or kahit whole numbers pa yan. Lahat ng mga numbers na discuss natin kanina, mag-graph natin sila sa real number line. Okay? So madalas yung real number line natin ay marked with integers. So let's mark this real number line with integers para magkaroon tayo ng reference points sa pag-graph natin. So let's put 0 right here. Let's put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So hanggang dyan siguro. Tapos sa negative din, lagay tayo ng markings. Negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Take note na kahit anong increment pwede ko ilagay. Kahit by 10 tayo mag-skip count dyan, okay lang din. Kahit by 50, by 100. Well, in this case, I decided na 1 lang yung maging increment natin sa real number line. So basically, para lang magkaroon tayo ng reference sa mga i-graph natin or ilo-locate natin na numbers. So, try natin mag-locate ng numbers sa real number line. So, for example, we have 4. Paano natin lo-locate si 4 sa real number line? Si 4 ay nandito. So, ganun lang. Basically, nalo-locate natin lahat ng numbers sa real number line. Isa pa, 2.5. So, si 2.5 is between 2 and 3, right? So, si 2.5 ay nandito. Si 2.5. So, negative 3.5. So, negative 3.5 ay between negative 3 and negative 4. So, andito yan. Paano naman pag irrational number ang i-locate natin? For example, we have pi. So, pi is what? It's something like 3.14159, blah, blah, blah. So, this is between 3 and 4. So, bandang dito. No? So, simply, the point is, itong real number line, pwede tayo mag-graph or mag-locate ng kahit anong real number. Basta totoong real number siya. No? Basta hindi siya imaginary. Pwede natin i-locate sa real number line. And actually, yung real number line is a recurring concept. Magagamit ulit tong concept na to when we go to the Cartesian coordinate plane. No? Magkakaroon tayo ng number lines na naka-intersect with each other. And basically, yun lang yung kailangan nyo tandaan. Sa real number line, lahat talaga ng real numbers ay malolocate and mag-graph. No? Okay? So, yun ang real number line natin. Okay, so that's it for this lecture, no? So, a while ago, we discussed yung introduction natin sa algebra, yung mga terms natin sa algebra, yung kung ano bang kailangan nating pag-aralan sa algebra. So, we had an introduction to that. We also discussed the types of real numbers. So, yung mga types of real numbers natin, like rational numbers, integers, whole numbers, and natural numbers, we discussed them all. We also discussed yung irrational numbers natin and how they fall into our real number system. And we also discussed yung real number line. So, yun. Actually, that's it for this lecture video. Thank you very much for watching. And for our next lecture, ay i-discuss naman natin yung operations on integers. So, paano naman tayo nag-a-apply ng operations sa mga integers natin? So, yun. Thank you very much for watching this lecture video. I hope you learned from this. And I hope to see you on the next one. God bless. Thank you very much for watching this video lecture made by Wisdom Academy PH. If you want to join our mission of providing high-quality educational videos for all Filipinos free of charge, then please consider supporting Wisdom Academy PH by contributing or donating to the following accounts. Kung interesado naman kayo maging parte ng aming organisasyon bilang isang volunteer educator, upang makapagbahagi at makapagturo sa mga taong nangangailangan, then please proceed to this link. If you like this video, then please hit the thumbs up. And if you want more educational videos like this, then please subscribe to Wisdom Academy PH and hit the notification bell for more updates. Watch and learn. God bless, and see you on the next one.